Eighth, that any water bodies that are nearby are positioned in the appropriate auspicious directions. Ninth, that there is a free flow of light from east to west and north to south, and of natural ventilation of fresh air in the same way. And 10th, that the building is built out of non-toxic materials that are only producing uplifting quality and good health for the inhabitants. Building such perfect vastus, building according to natural law, you will find that everyone you build for is so happy with the buildings you build for them. Whereas when we build in violation of these principles, so many unnecessary troubles will come to the people for whom you build. Science has confirmed this science of STHAPATYA VEDA, of Vedic architecture in harmony with natural law. But you can see for yourself, think about your own home and your own office and its entrances and its orientation and the effect it is having on you. Think also in your city of the streets, for example, where all the houses or offices or shops face south. What is the effect on the economy of the people in those buildings? You'll be surprised by what you find. Above all, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. If you experience, even for one day, what it is like to be in such a building, you will only wish to always be in such buildings, and that everyone should always only be in such buildings. All the builders, not knowing these principles, have been building buildings that violate these principles and are causing suffering and troubles. But that was the past. Now you know what to do. It is very clear that no one should live in buildings that are damaging to their fortune, to their health, to their happiness and peace. Everyone should get out of the building that is like that as if an earthquake had hit it. Just leave the building immediately and get into a new, properly oriented house designed according to natural law. So the need is very clearly there, since everyone in the world should be in such a house and in such an office or school or government building, that the whole world, every house, every building, has to be reconstructed. And until that happens, peace will always be a question mark for the individual and for the world. This influence of the house that one lives in or office one works in on one's life, though it is unseen, it is entirely real. It is as real as the burning nature of fire and the freezing nature of ice. The negative effects of wrong vastu that violate the laws of nature cannot be avoided in any way except by moving into a new building that follows these principles, these ancient principles of architecture in harmony with natural law. As soon as people begin to move into those buildings that you will construct for them, so much unnecessary suffering and so many unnecessary problems caused by the wrong house or office or school or government building will simply disappear. Now it is my great pleasure to introduce the greatest expert in this field of STHAPATYA VEDA, Vedic architecture in accord with natural law, as reintroduced to the world by Maharshi, His Excellency Dr. Eike Hartman, who is the Minister of Architecture and City Planning of the global country of world peace. And he will elaborate on the specific benefits of perfect Vastu dwellings and on the really profound dangers and troubles caused by non-Vastu buildings.
Reconstruction of the world according to natural law.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for this wonderful comprehensive summary of all the points of STHAPATYA VEDA. Now today we want to consider the underlying principles of Vedic architecture, architecture in harmony with natural law, Maharishi STHAPATYA VEDA, which is the most ancient and supreme system of architecture and planning in harmony with natural law, and taking into account the influences of the sun and the moon and all the stars and planets with reference to the Earth, the North Pole and the South Pole and the equator, and thereby connecting individual life with cosmic life, connecting individual intelligence with cosmic intelligence. Vastu is a second word for STHAPATYA VEDA, and Vastu is a very great power in nature. It is that power of natural law which balances all the far and near influences and which is ultimately responsible for the creation and maintenance of the entire ever-expanding universe. Every man-made structure must be in resonance with the structure of the universe, so that every individual in its inner structure remains at all times connected and open to the cosmic structure and the cosmic intelligence. The individual is really cosmic and should therefore live according to his unbounded cosmic potential, which is only possible in the proper Vastu home, a fortune-creating building which places great emphasis on the proper orientation of the house, with its entrance ideally facing towards the east, the direction of the rising sun. Now in this there are many principles to be observed, many design principles for laying out a proper Vastu home. The proportions, the outer proportions of the Vastu building in terms of the height and the width and the length and its auspicious dimensions and the symmetry, all this is designed and calculated according to the ancient cosmic formulas which are stated in the Vedic texts. Every Vastu building is a holistic structure of natural law, similar to the design of a galaxy or a planetary system like a solar system, even to a flower or to an atom. They all have a similar feature, and that is they are designed around and from a central point of wholeness, a point of totality which creates and maintains the structure. This point in Vedic architecture, STHAPATYA VEDA, it has a name. It is called Brahmastan. That is the place of totality and wholeness, and such a place has to be maintained and designed in every man-made structure as well. This principle of nature is very carefully observed in Vedic architecture and also finds expression in the central symmetry and order of an ideal Vastu home. And that house is then more than just a house. It is really, it becomes a real home, a home of natural law, where peace and happiness and prosperity is prevailing.